The topic, as we mentioned earlier today, is it all starts on the phones. Guys, this business, I promise you, I mean, because I've experienced it, it all starts on the phones. You know, it never fails, and I can understand why, but especially as a new agent, it's like the phones is what they're not worried about. You're worried about what happens after the fact, but the reality is it starts on the phones, because if we don't have enough calls, if we don't talk to enough people, we're not going to have enough appointments. So it's like, don't worry about something that don't matter. You've got to focus on the first step, and the first step is massive activity on the phones. We have an incredible proven phone script. It's called the best script. Okay. First thing is be busy. You've got to be busy. You've got to be putting in, 250, 300, 500, $1,000. I don't care what it takes. Your goal is, how many appointments do I need, okay, to see enough people, to make enough sales, to put food on the table, right? It doesn't matter how many calls you've got to take to get there. Because if you don't get there, the numbers are not going to work out. I mean, this business it's simple. It's just not easy. Now, you may get lucky, but luck is just what it is. It's luck. It's not a plan, right? So you've got to make sure that you're putting in the dials to make enough appointments. You got to get in the right mindset. The best call is one that begins and ends with your prospect's best interest at heart. Remember what we do. We're not selling protein powder or lipstick. We're selling a promise. We're selling a promise that if something happens to you, whether that be depending on what you're selling, if that's a life insurance policy or a critical illness policy, or both, or combination, we're selling a promise that what I'm providing you, if something happens to you, your family is going to be taken care of. That's what you're selling. And we've all seen it on the crew of talking to clients. Some of us has been around long enough to pay out some death claims, like myself. I would say there's no better feeling. I mean, that's one of those kind of situations where you wish you weren't doing it, but you're glad that you were able to take care of them and know that, their family has got money coming in. They're not having to stress over that, right? But once you understand that your motivation to make the call must be based on the fact that you're truly helping someone, okay? The nature of the interaction changes. These are, or should be, people who are actively looking for ways to do their job better and succeed in their job, because we're helping families. If you truly believe in what we do, nothing should stop you. The people who struggle to make the calls are the ones that are selling products or services they don't believe in. Number one, a cornerstone of success here is believe in what you're selling. If you've not sold yourself, I'm going to talk to you right now. I don't care if you've been here 1 day, 1 year, 1 month, whatever. If you don't have already purchased a policy on yourself, either do it today or quit and go ahead and go find you something else. Don't use the excuse, so I can't afford it, I need to make some money first. Because all that's going to do is prevent you from overcoming that objection when you talk to the first client that tells you they can't afford it. Okay? You've got to believe in what you're selling. Okay. I've not lost track of how many policies that I have on myself, my wife, my kids. I believe in it, to the point of, like somebody call it insurance poor or whatever. I mean, I don't know that can be accurate, because I promise you, I'd let my, a lot of stuff go before I would let that go. Because we don't know what happens next hour, tomorrow. It can happen to any of us. right? Believe in what you're selling, sell yourself. Once you've sold yourself, and really, you don't even have to have any money because Symmetry provides the first year with America free if you qualify. But I would tell you to do it. I'd tell you to do more. I'd tell you to get the America policy. Then I would tell you to take out a Mutual of Omaha or a John Hancock because they're going to pay you commissions just like it was on a standard family. And then you can use those commissions to reinvest into your business and get you more leads so that you can take those new leads and snowball, okay? But believe in what you sell, okay? Jay Abram developed a strategy of preeminence, a position whereby you become a fiduciary. You're a trusted advisor for life. Once you embody this idea, you adopt a moral obligations to help your clients act in their best interest at all times, okay? Sometimes that means it's going to be a lesser policy. It's less money. It don't matter. It's protection. You know, Miss Stella here is the queen of accidental plans. You know, when the budget's too tight or maybe they don't need what they have, because sometimes very very few people don't need mortgage protection, but they can still get an additional accidental death for cheap that can give them additional protection, right? We don't know how we're going to go. We just know we're going to go. Just remind yourself every day that this is your role, it's your goal, it's your purpose. You're there to help families. We can't help everybody. We can't help the people who say no. We can't help them. We can't help the people who don't answer the phone. Can't help them. You know, we can't help the people who are broke. And most importantly, we can't help the people who are stupid. But we can help everybody else. And we've got to, put in the time and effort to go through the people who say no, the people who are broke, the people who are stupid, to get to the people who are so thankful that we called them and we was able to help them and develop that relationship and give them the protection that they need. Okay. You got to prepare yourself physically and mentally. Okay. Break down your dials, break down your dials into increments, 300 dials. So I'm going to make 100 dials right now. You sit down and you don't get up until you've made 100 dials. It don't matter the outcome, because if you make enough dials, the outcome will get there. Now, you want to also be doing the constant correction. So part of the massive action is constant correction. So depending on what lead type you're working, maybe you need to reach out to your mentor before the $100 is up. If you're tracking your numbers and you're seeing that you're off pace, you should probably have a few more appointments than you do based on the contact metrics, which we have that document in the crew team files, contact metrics. It gives you a really good idea of where you should be based on what lead type that you're working, okay? But break it down. You're going to make 100 dials right now. I'm going to do it. I'm not setting up from my desk until I've tracked 100 dials, okay? And then you just do that 2 more times, 3 more times, 4 more times, whatever it is. You're not going to sit down and make 300 dials at once, but you can do 100, take you a break, do whatever you need to do, get your mind right, go for a walk, come back, do it again. Keep your metrics in mind. 100 dials should get you 4 to 5 interested people, okay? So you make 300 dials. Everybody on here, I think, is capable of doing mental math. If 100 gets you 4 to 5, 300 gets you 12 to 15. That's the metrics. We know the metrics, okay? The system works. If it's not working, it's not the system, it's you. And we can fix you, but the system don't need fixing. Okay. There are 100 really good reasons why people say no. Okay. It's not personal. It's just part of the process of qualifying and nurturing the right clients. That's all we're looking for. We're not looking too many times. We think we've got to get people interested in personal life. That's never going to work. It's never going to work. I'm going to say it again. you're never going to get people interested in life insurance. And if you are a slick salesman like John Paul and you get them interested, as soon as that second payment starts coming out their bank account, they start seeing that happen and they're thinking, man, I got school clothes I got to buy. What's the first thing that's going to go? Okay. So we're just looking for the interested people. Okay. Your job is not to get 100 yeses. It's to make 100 dials with the same grace and grit on the 100th as you did the first one. And you do that 3 times or 4 times, you know. Making a lot of dials can be exhausting. We all know that, right? You need to be able to think clearly and focus on the mundane and repetitive dials. This business is, you know, the key is being able to deal with the mundane, because we do the same things over and over and over. We say the same things over and over and over again, whether it be on the phone or most importantly in the home or virtually. The only thing that changes is just that relationship, the unique relationship with your client. That's the only thing that's different. Everything else is the same. Your psychology is important, guys. You got to sleep well. I was jokingly saying I'm struggling with sleep because we've got a brand new baby. It's just part of it. You got to power through it, right? Stay hydrated. I just drank a 40-ounce coffee. I don't know if that's considered hydration, but I got me a liter of water right here to balance out. You got to exercise. If you're in a meditation, meditate. Get a light lunch. Stretch. Sit up straight. You know, stand up. Walk around. You know, go down the stairs. Get some breathing. You know, my Apple Watch tells me about every hour I need to breathe. You know, half the time I just disregard it. But you know, avoid distractions. That's why I was jokingly about Mr. James a minute ago. You know, on my computer I get notifications. I've got Krill on here. Text and emails and all that. When I'm dialing, really most time, because it's very distracting on the computer. When I'm dialing, do not disturb is on my phone. It's on my computer because I need to keep my distractions to a minimum, if any, right? To put everything on airplane mode or do not disturb or, you know, whatever, and just immerse yourself in the task at hand, which is making 100 dials. Okay. If you feel nervous or anxious before picking up the phone, listen, that's normal. I've been doing this 3.5 years. I still get that feeling. I promise you. But as soon as you start, it goes away. It's the same thing as, like, you know, Bruce Springsteen still gets nervous before he gets on stage. You know, that's normal. You should have that, because what we do is important, right? It's a feeling of self-awareness and reminder that you're doing something that matters. It's also a reminder that you need to show up and do your job well. You know, don't just show up and think you're going to roll out of bed and go protect families. You need to show up, be prepared, and give your best effort. Realize that fear is just made up in your head. Stella posted that. Stella, if you could do me a favor, I want to save that, but my last name is spelled wrong. So I'd really love if you could get your son to correct that, and I want to say that and share it. But I didn't come up with that saying anyway. But fear is just made up in your head. You know, it's always more nerve-wracking calling the leads, but you just have to get your mindset right. It's just a phone call. It's not a big deal. They don't know you. You don't know them. If it don't go well, I promise you they're going to forget about you in about 30 seconds. So you need to forget about them in 30 seconds or less, depending on if you're using the power dialer. It better be less, because the next one's about to pick up. You know, just realize how silly it is to be nervous about it. You know, I mean, you're still going to go home at the end of the day. It really has no negative impact on your life, you know, but what it could lead to is a great opportunity to protect another family, get them covered, get some money in your bank, and take care of your family. All right. approach it with confidence, you know, as a peer. So if you come across as submissive, they're going to dismiss you pretty quickly. Make sure you're bringing value to them at every point of, you know, contact. Age only matters to you. It doesn't matter to the client. It don't matter if you're 19 or 79. It doesn't matter. You know, if a 12-year-old can show up and reduce a company's expenses by $1 million a year, you can be dang sure that they're going to listen to them, right? We talked about it in meditation, exercise in the mornings. You know, I just told you coffee helps me get, you know, feel confident. But I like to try to stand up when I call. It's a little bit harder with the dialer, but I'll still stand up and until I get somebody ready to book an appointment, and then I'll sit down and you know, start doing my little tapping and stuff. You know, I like to be hands-free, either with my headset or my AirPods or whatever. It lowers your nerves, and it also projects, you know, it projects your voice, and you come across more confident. If you've ever seen any of like the Boiler Room, there was one movie I really enjoyed, Boiler Room, or any of like the stockbrokers and stock exchange, they're not sitting at a desk. They're standing up, headset on, making calls. You know, it's energy. You know, so that helps if you can do it. You know, you want to practice. You shouldn't necessarily practice on your clients, although 50-cent quarter leads are good practice, live practice for sure. But sales calls are no exception. Practice makes perfect. Kobe Bryant, the late Kobe Bryant, I remember reading an article. He would get into the gym before practice and make 1,000 shots. 1,000 shots before practice started. Not a game. I'm sure he did it in the game too, or he might need to keep his arm better. But 1,000 shots before practice. So run through what you want to say on the calls off your area on the phone. Record yourself. Listen to yourself. Right? If you don't like the way you sound, then keep practicing until you do. Right? Most importantly, you need to smile. Smiling and dialing gets a bad rep from like the Wolf of Wall Street and everything, but we're not selling junk penny stocks. We're selling a promise. The evidence suggests that smiling can trigger positive psychological effects. That's why they say put a mirror in front of your desk or where you can see yourself smiling. You need to smile, you know, because if you're slouched over and if you're looking down and if you're like, you know, kind of gritting through it, it's going to come across, and that's going to be one of the reasons why you're not having success. I promise you. There's psychological and physiological benefits from maintaining a positive facial expressions during stress. So, you know, one thing they say, fake it till you make it. Smile. Okay. Be short and direct. Learn to communicate with fewer words. You know, simple words confers confidence and knowledge of what you're selling. If the client takes you off script, your job is to get right back to the script. The further you get away from the script, the further you are from booking an appointment. You got to remember that. Write that down. The further you get off script, the further you are from booking an appointment. Okay. One of the best things you've probably maybe heard on some training calls. Anything they say. Well, that's exactly why I'm calling. That's exactly why I'm calling. Well, yeah, we looked into that. We're not interested anymore. That's exactly why I'm calling. What was it? Was it because of the price? You know, use your objections. That's a way to rebut and get back. That's exactly why I'm calling. Was it due to the price? Did they show you A, B, and C options? We find that most people only get shown A option. Or an agent we had before. That's exactly why I'm calling. This came across my desk because I specialize in budget sensitive clients. My job is I've never had a time I couldn't find something that would fit within your needs and meet your needs and fit within your budget. So I just needed about 30 seconds to verify a little information so I could work up several options for you. Get right back to your script. So that's exactly why I'm calling. Give your rebuttal. Get right back to the script. Okay. And most importantly, have fun. You know, you get to work from home. You're helping families, making a good living doing it. You know, if you work the system and stay consistent, you know, you'll gain freedom. You know, consistency plus persistency equals freedom. If you've not read Go for No yet, I encourage you to do that today. It's a short read. You can read it in an hour. It's a must for someone that's new in making outbound calls. It's really a great read for anyone, but it's imperative for new folks. It helps you understand that the most successful sales people, the top sales agent or salesperson of any company, they get the most yeses. It's because they got the most no's. John Paul Vetter gets more no's than the rest of us. Okay. Now he's great at what he does, but it's because everybody don't say yes to John Paul, right? The thing about leaderboards is we just get to see the end result. We don't get to see the process that we went through to get there. Okay, and we're not really all good at posting how many no's we got, or how many no-shows we got, or how many you know, just no sales that we got. We post our sales, that's part of it, just so everybody else knows that, hey, everybody else is doing it. But you just have to be willing to get your no's, because in Go for No, really one of the key takeaways is, instead of making your yes goal, which is how many appointments, so 15 appointments, depending on what lead type you're working, and again, that's where the contact metrics come into play. Really, your goal should be how many no's I've got to get, because then it takes the mental aspect away of it. Oh, I got one no. Okay, I'm closer to my yeses. Like, so for 5As, if you're new and you're working bonus leads only, you need 5 no's to get a yes. So put down, you need, for 15 appointments, do the math, you need 85 no's. Now I'm just checking off how many no's I got, because if you do that, you'll get your yeses. And if you're tracking along and you've got 10 no's, for example, and no yeses yet, well, what should you do? You should reach out to your mentor. Y'all should role play, figure out something's missing. Something's missing in your delivery or in your script or your non-script, probably. Something is missing, and they can try to help you get back on track. That's all I've got as far as my talking points. I am going to put my phone on speaker, and we're going to try to make a few calls here so y'all can hear. Before I do that, I want to open it up for any questions or comments or on anything that I just discussed before we do some live calls.
Jeremiah, I just wanted to add one additional piece of clarity, if you don't mind. And because we do have so many new people on the call, I think that this is very important for folks. And so they may not really know the relationship that a lot of us have. You know, this is a big family, so to speak. And there's a lot of times that, say, Jeremiah, Chris, and myself, we joke around with each other and talk trash like brothers would do. So I know what Jeremiah said a little bit earlier, you know, some people that are new may misunderstand this. So he made a reference to my production and what I do from a slick salesperson perspective. And I know he's joking, right? But I don't want anybody new on this call to misunderstand that, right? I am not a slick salesperson. I don't dupe anyone into doing anything. It's quite the contrary. In fact, everything that I do and everything you've heard me talk about is about connecting with your client and being genuine and real. And that's what people are attracted to, because they know you have their best interest at heart. And if you lead that way, that's why I do well at what I do, because it is 100% real and genuine. It's not faked or slick or contrived. So I just want you guys to understand that. And I know Jeremiah was joking when he said that, but somebody new that doesn't know, and this may be their first or second call, hear that and think that that's what we're about, when that was really a joke. It is absolutely not what we are about. If you think you're some slick hustler salesperson, you're going to crash and burn here, and you're not going to be a good fit for our culture. That's just not who we are. And that's not anything I've ever done in my professional career in the way I address my relationships with my clients. So it's all about the connection, being real and genuine, and truly putting your customers' perspectives first, so that you know that you're doing the right thing by them. And if you always do right, you can't ever be wrong. So I just wanted to add that little color commentary just to make sure we're on the same page. Okay.
No, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, there's a reason why he's number one agent, not because it's because he cares the most and because he does the most work. I'll say that. I know that it's because he does the most work. It seems like anytime I'm trying to reach him, he's dialing. Right. We all, you know, Chris, I've been here 3.5 years. John is 2.5 or so. Chris, 4. We've been together, slept in the same house and hotels. So yeah, we're like brothers, as you say. So I'm if I don't get to rub somebody, I mean, I'm not having a good day. So that's what that's all about. But no, yes, Sally, yes, ma'am.
So I want to second that. I can attest to Mr. Vetter's your relationships on the phone, everything that I've learned from you from day one, being here a little over a year, John Paul. I've always learned that relationships are first with your clients, and how you've always, shared with us on how you did it from day one, from when I started here. So I can attest to that. I know that your heart goes out there first. You're extremely passionate about helping those people, and that's why you're always saying, don't get upset with the results that you didn't get or the work that you didn't put into it, because you are the king of that. You do it. But the only thing I wanted to share, Jeremiah, was that in the beginning, when I was just horrible on the phone, I'm not saying I'm so great now, but in the beginning when I was bad, I got so frustrated. And so I sent my recording to Chris. And I asked him, because you can record yourself on Dialer, and I asked him to listen to it. So if you feel like you're struggling, send a recording to your mentor, because Chris picked it apart and he gave me so much great advice that helped turn me around like overnight. And I made so many more appointments. So that's all I was going to share.
Awesome. All right. Anyone else? Well, all right. I've got my leads pulled up, my dialer. I'm going to do it on my phone so I can put it on speaker and know that they're going to be able to hear me. I don't want to cross up these internet lines here. So we're just going to make a few calls, see what we can come up with. And yeah, I would say you're going to hear just a tiny bit difference in what you're probably looking at if you're looking at the phone script and what I do, but very little. Very little. We're just going to see what we can come up with. Here we go.
Hello?
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
Brian, hey there. This is Jeremiah Nolen. I was calling you back about your mortgage with Heritage, amount $222,000. Brian, I was actually getting back to you about those letters and postcards you got in the mail recently. One of them you had actually called in went over some phone prompts and wanted us to get back to you about your mortgage protection options that would help pay the mortgage off. You had a death, disability, maybe even a heart attack. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, I was the local case manager assigned to get some options out to you, Brian, and I was getting ready to do that and just needed about 30 seconds or so I could put together several options for you. I'm showing here that when you called in, you said that you were currently 34 years old. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Brian, do you have a birthday coming up? When do you turn 35?
Next June.
Next June. Okay, so we got some time on that. I'm showing here that you do not smoke cigarettes. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now you're not going to start next week, are you, Brian?
No, I'm not.
Okay. How about any health problems? Cancer, strokes, heart attacks, diabetes, anything like that?
No, clean bill of health.
No medications or anything?
No.
Awesome. I'm showing this mortgage balance to be paid off is about $222,000.
That's correct.
Okay. You're out on. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're out on 701 Magnolia Place.
That's correct.
Okay. What's your approximate height and weight?
6'3" to 30.
Okay. What do you do for work, Brian?
I work as a defense contractor. I'm a manager out at Leidos in Research Park.
Gotcha. All right, perfect. And then what is your approximate monthly mortgage payment?
It's $10.44.
Okay. And most importantly, Brian, who are you looking to see some options on? Was this mostly yourself or a spouse or any kids in the household you'd like me to get a quote on for you?
It's mainly me, and I'm like, here's what I'm asking about this.
Okay.
Like, what does this insurance do? Because I have homeowners insurance for USAA. I'm a vet. So
appreciate your service.
Thank you. It's like, I'm just trying to see if this is something I want or if it's something that I'll forego. So
Yeah.
What exactly is this in the event of my death?
So this is mortgage protection. It serves many purposes. Okay. It would pay your house off if you die. If you were to be diagnosed with a critical illness like a cancer, stroke, heart attack, kidney failure, something like that, or if you became injured or sick and incapacitated, you couldn't care for yourself, or if you were disabled or even terminal, any of those circumstances, the policies are designed to help pay the house off so your family don't have to worry about, losing it. So it takes care of all of those things. It's not your house insurance. Like if your house burns, that's what the USAA is for. Most people have life insurance, and we find that they want that to go to their family and not have to go to the bank. So that's kind of where the mortgage protection comes into play. It's kind of a plan to make sure that the house is paid off and anything else you've got can take care of the family.
Gotcha. How much is this going to run me a month?
Well, that's exactly why I was calling. See, we have access to 40 plus insurance carriers. Each one's tailored to different types of people. So basically, I'm kind of the broker. I'm going to do the shopping for you. Okay. I'm going to find the carrier that will give you the most coverage for the least amount of money possible. Okay. Now, it sounds like it's just for you. Do you have a spouse in the household?
Nope, divorced.
Divorced. Okay. You got kids?
I got 2 boys.
2 boys. Gotcha. How old are they?
6 and 3.
6 and 3. You got your hands full, don't you?
Absolutely.
I've got 4. I've got a 13, a 10, a 2, and a 4-month-old. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Well, Brian, listen, typically we'd come out and sit down with you and go over these options in person, but right now with COVID, we're taking care of our families by video conference. It takes about 15 minutes. We just go over your options, get to show you everything on the screen and answer any questions you've got. I've got some time this afternoon. What time are you normally going from work?
I'm technically not getting off till about 3:30, and then I've got to go get the boys. Let me look at my calendar.
Yeah.
I've got my planner in front of me.
You working from home right now, or are you still going in?
No.
Yeah.
No, I worked at Polaris before this. I haven't worked from home but for 3 days.
Oh wow.
Through
Okay.
this whole thing.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, man. I'm young.
Yeah.
I'm not high risk.
Yep.
I wear a mask.
Yep.
That's all you can do.
Yep.
I've been just drugged up beyond belief from vaccines, the army.
Oh
So
my, I bet. Yeah.
It's whatever.
Yeah, you can handle it. You're gonna be straight. Yeah. So I'm looking at my calendar for Monday. So you said you get off at 3:30 and you pick up your boys every day.
2 days a week. So Monday, let me see, that's the 21st.
Yes.
What time would? Because I got to get back down here, so I don't know how late you work. Like, I don't want you sitting in the office forever waiting on me to get to the house.
Yeah. What time do you normally get home?
Usually get home about 4:15.
Okay. I tell you what. First of all, let me get your email.
Okay. It's Brian.R.Page, Page, the number 6 at gmail.com.
Okay. All right. I will be Monday. I'll actually be cutting off early myself. I've got kids with ball games and stuff. So Tuesday I'll actually be working late. You pick up your boys on Tuesdays?
Tuesday I'm going out of town.
Okay.
Backpacking on the Appalachian Trail, and I'll be out the rest of the week. But
all right.
The following week, the 29th through the 29th through the 3rd of October.
Mm-hmm.
What does Wednesday look like?
Well, I really don't like to go past a week because things can change up so greatly for us.
Gotcha.
What about tomorrow? You got any time in the morning?
I've got the boys all, but they're not going to let me sit on a telephone call.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying? That will not.
How about 4 o'clock on Monday? We'll go ahead and just get you squared off and make it happen.
Yeah, let's look at 4 o'clock on Monday.
All right, perfect. Do you get I know I've been talking to a lot of people that works for the defense. Can you do Zoom on your computer?
No, that's why I got to get out of there. So I got to come back to the house to do that because
you can do it on your phone.
I can do it on my phone. So what I'll probably end up doing is just pulling over in a parking lot somewhere where I've got some.
That'd be fine. That'd be fine. Perfect. So you'll get an email with a link. Just click the link before time, and it just prompts you to download the free app. Or do you have an iPhone? We could even do FaceTime. Make it easier on you.
I got an iPhone.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna make a note here, FaceTime, and then I'll just give you a call on. It'd be from a different number. Well, actually, it won't. It'll be this number. Okay, I'll FaceTime you, which I guess it's just show that. And I got you on Monday the 20th. Now, Brian, the worst part about this is the fact that we've got 50% of increase in people asking for help, and if we miss Monday, it probably will be a couple weeks before I get back with you. Pretty confident you can make that happen Monday at 4?
I'm pretty confident I can make that happen.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you on FaceTime Monday at 4 o'clock. I hope you have a good weekend. Okay.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye. That was a good one. I think we, was able to go through.
You set that up, Nolen. You set that up. You paid that guy.
I couldn't have asked for a better call because I was able to kind of go through an objection because that's what that first thing was, what it is. That was an objection. Then he asked me how much it cost. Y'all heard me. Y'all heard the line. That's exactly why I'm calling. He tried to push me out 2 weeks. I'm not doing that. Don't do that. That's not an appointment, okay? Because what you're going to do, you're going to mark that down on your calendar as an appointment, and then you're going to count it. And odds are he's not going to show up. It's 2 weeks later. So get him in. In most circumstances, I've just had a unique circumstance this weekend. So I couldn't get him, I tried to go ahead and I would make it work. We'll get him in tomorrow. He's with his boys. I get that. I'm with my kids. I really didn't want to do it because I needed to be with giving my wife some relief this weekend. But I was going to make it happen, okay? We have ball games Monday night, so I'm going to work Monday. I can't work Monday night. So, I just figure it out, make it happen. But then I wanted to give him the tie down of, listen, we're really busy. I'm cognizant of your time. I want you to be cognizant of mine. This is important. If you miss Monday, it's going to be a couple weeks before I can get back to you. You got to make it very important. Here's the reality, guys. It is important. They could be dead next week or 2 weeks later or whatever. It happens. But that was awesome. Y'all want me to make one more? Y'all want me to try to do one more? Let's do one more. That was a call-in lead, okay? That's another great. That was a call-in, so you kind of heard how I use that language. I like to a lot of people don't remember the cards, so I'm always telling them, because guess what? We know they got the letters too. I always just tell everybody, you got some letters and postcards, and then depending on how they responded is what's my next line on that. This one is an A lead. It was a letter. It says best time to call is evening, but I don't pay attention to that. So let's see if they answer. Triple dial.
Your call has been forwarded.
Okay. No contact on that one. All right. I've got an appointment at 11, so I don't want to, we'll wrap this up, but I think that was a good one to go through. Some of you thinking, well, that was obviously a new lead, it don't matter. It's just, you just got to go through them, but Stephanie, rarely do I leave voicemails. I got to go through them, call them multiple times. I actually have some pre-recorded voicemails, voice drops in my dialer that I'll throw out there. To be honest, sometimes I may leave them on older folks, but even then, I don't think I can count on one hand how many return calls I've gotten. So really, what's the point in leaving voicemails? You want to get them on the phone. That's the ultimate key. So rarely do I ever leave voicemails.
And I'll echo that. I don't leave voicemails for customers when I'm calling the numbers. The one exception to Jeremiah's point is if I've called an elderly client 4, 5, 6 times and they've not answered over the period of a week or so, or a week and a half, then I'll leave a voicemail for an elderly client. And I'll tell you why. Because if you've ever been in the home with a senior citizen on a visit during the day, their phone rings off the hook nonstop with bullshit. It's always people calling them about everything in the book, phone solicitors, everything. And they're used to ignoring it because they're numb to the phone ringing. So when you leave that message, they can hear it and know that you're not one of those folks. You were actually calling them back. And I've actually had elderly customers that have called me back. It's not going to happen all the time, but they've called me back. And I've actually even had several that have picked the phone up mid-message because they hear me. They have an old school style voicemail machine and they can hear it and they pick up the phone and I'm able to engage and set the appointment from there. That's the one exception that I leave messages on after I've exhausted multiple calls.
Yeah. And another little tip on that, if you are going to leave a voicemail, especially like we're talking about, leave the voicemail and then call back one more time, right? Because if they were screening it, again, that's the whole point. That's why we triple dial, guys, because people don't answer their phone the first time very rarely. Guy did a minute ago. It happens. most of the time my pickups are on the second or third dial. Almost most of the time I set my appointments, it was the second or the third dial in sequence, because they're screening the call. You call one time, they're not going to answer it most likely. You call a second time, if they're sitting there looking at it, I don't know. You call the third time, if they're screening it, odds are they're going to pick up. Some people just will never pick up, you know, even though they filled the form out, and, you know, that's why you want to, you know, that's why we used to do door knocking. I mean, hopefully we'll get back to doing a little bit of that soon, you know, kind of clear up some leads, but yeah, so that's the only time that I would ever do that. A text message, I got in my dialer, I'll send a text message, you know, and to do that. But yeah. Any other questions? I hope this was beneficial for you. You see, I'm just a friend. I'm just a friend, call another friend. You're not a, don't ever be a telemarketer. Just low, slow, hey, John, call him by their first name. You've seen it. I asked him does he have a spouse? Because if he has a spouse, I got to make sure she's going to be there, or do I need to get some coverage on her or whatever? I found out he had 2 kids. You know, I'm going to be offering him some child policies on his kids when I meet with him. You know, so those are the kind of, you know, the things that I wanted to, you know, talk to you about today. The first lead was a call-in lead. I think Andy asked that. It was a fresh new call-in lead. I just got it this week. So on that. Well, no more questions. It's 10:57. I hope you guys have a great day, great call, great weekend. Let's make it happen. Today, tomorrow is the best time to reach people on the phone. Try to book them up as soon as possible, 12, 24 hours. Don't be afraid to run Sunday appointments. Don't be afraid to run Saturday afternoon appointments. Just don't run Friday afternoon or Friday evening and Saturday morning appointments. You need to dial during those times. But get them on your calendar ASAP, as soon as possible. It's important. Make it important. You're busy, you know, and it's got to be on your calendar, not theirs. So, all right, guys, y'all have a great weekend. Happy dialing. Let's make it happen. Bye, y'all.